This is the third video of our series on color branding. In fact, in this video it was more like a remake, a little bit of an extension of on what we did in part 2. If you haven't viewed that video, please click that link and go and watch that video. So in this video we are going to go further. The first one we did a little bit of creating our accent palette. That is what I call the base palette. That's our orange palette. In this video I will draw something in it that we are going to remind ourselves how to create our palette by going further into creating now our teal palette, and then from there we are going to test our design. That is, we are going to use a simple design that I had hinted sometimes back. We are going to come to it. So this video will be about testing our design, see whether it will passes color contrast, especially for accessibility reasons. So that's what we are going to do in this video. See you inside. Now that we have our orange color palette ready, it's ready for use, but we haven't tested yet. So that's where we will come and test it later. I will show you how I usually test my colors. So the next step is to create our teal color. That is the tint for teal color. In fact, the steps are still the same, whereby we use the same procedures. We have like 9 of them, depending on the way you go around with selecting your colors. In our case, the dark ones are easier to use because we already have the two dark teal, teal colors with dark shades. One that is pretty darkest, and the one that is a little bit with more of tint in it. So that one, it will be easier for us to create. Now, another thing that we will do is that we won't have another orange like this one, that we have an orange that I use as my pressed version. In a way, sometimes this one in later, I was thinking that I can use this as a focus color, but that one is something to see when I start implementing the design. So far, the fact that I have already these nine squares, all I do is duplicate them downward. So I hold Alt and Shift so that I can maintain, and I put around 60s down below the previous ones. So what I will do, because I will not need this square, that is the one that I added extra, so I will delete it, and then I'll select all of this, and then I will auto align. That's the beauty of using Figma. Now with that one, the next thing that I can do from there, as you can see that the spacing is equal 20, so I will choose the same colors. So I go and select my teal color there, so that all the 8 squares now have the teal color. So from there, the next thing is to rename this teal color to different color. So I'll go and I will replace primary with secondary. That is the renaming portion. I use Control R, and then this pop-up comes up, and then I go to primary section, and then I replace with the secondary. The secondary name. You can see here we have primary, yeah, that's right, and then secondary, and then rename. So so it looks like our name did not work, so I will repeat it. Oh, I've noticed I renamed it to primary, so that's the reason why it was not renaming it. So I will change that one. That's my bad. That's typo. In fact, what I want this whatever to be, I want it to be primary, and the previous one I will make it secondary. So here will be my primary. So that one will be fine. The teal color will be the main color throughout the design. So the one that I had named to primary, Control R, I change primary. to secondary. So this will be the color that we'll be using where we demand attention, like buttons and other elements of the within our design that require attention. So this color will be the one for calling, and then throughout the design we'll have teal color. And now, as you can see, all my square rectangle here, they are all secondary, and all my teal rectangles, they are now primary colors. Now that I've finished doing that, so the next thing is to repeat the whole process. I won't cover that step by step, so simply the steps are the same. I've actually transferred I've copied all the colors that is I interpret from my tints and shade, and I have my squares are named well. Now the next thing is to adjust these colors, the dark ones and the light ones. So I will delete all these rectangles that were generated by tints and shades plugin. I've also realized that my squares here are not completely aligned. So yes, now they are. So let's start the same process I used previously is the one that I will use here. So up to that point, I've done my tweaking. I feel that this is right time to start testing these colors and see how they fit together with in the design. And this is where we start using other plugins like contrast. And from there on, we'll create shades of these colors, and so that we can have some color we can be using in our design. So Figma is very impressive when it comes to doing this. I've done it with Illustrator and Photoshop, and they were not as excellent as how I'm doing it with Figma. So let's go there. And before we do that, I want to share with you how I use the design I use to test this color so that we can see the contrast. So first, let me explain to you the design. So I have it aside here. This is something that I picked on a certain project that I was doing, and then I found this one to be very effective because it retests all the things that we need in a design. Because when we are creating this color, we want this color to be meaningful. It's not just shades of color that we use just rampantly, we use with intention. These are three elements, and these will represent most of the design when it comes to your design. So we have our message box here. This will represent anything that pop-ups and all that things that comes from our website, sort of pop-ups. And then we have buttons. Buttons are very common in every design. And then we have the selection here, which represent anything to do with models. Anything you need with especially forms. This one will become handy when it comes to forms. So we have the highlight color here, whereby all of them, they have different shades of color. Let's begin with this notification message box here. We have the title. The title has a different, it is a little bit darker, and we can see its X value, which is OA, OA, OA. And then we have the main, that's like the body text here, and it has color 424242. I want you to note these colors. And then we have the icon there. Icon is something that we use a lot. Most of the time we use the main colors when it comes to icon. So we have the one here, the main color here we are using 111. And then we have even the close button here, which is a little bit muted with 7575. When it comes to buttons have these wrappers. Each button have a wrapper with the same kind of color, that is 5555. And then we have the button, and the color of the button for the main is still the main color, that is 111. And then we have the F color here, where most of the time I usually tend to lean toward off-whites than white color. And then we have the next button, that's button number 2. This represents the hover state of a button. So we have the color is also different here. We have a color of 222. And then we have the focus button. Most of the focus button usually have an outline. And in this case, we are using an outline. You remember we created a 20% of color for our focus. So this is the reason why we are creating that one 20%, so that we can have this kind of an outline here. The same color we are using in hover is the same color we are using here for our focus buttons. That is the background color of 222. And then we have the press button, which is a little bit darker. And sometimes in our previous, if you remember, I made a decision when it comes to press button, they will have a little bit of that orange, the orange skin. And that's what we are going to use in my design. Sometimes you may want to go with this darker shade, where in this case we are using 444. So that will be different depending on different type of design. So below here we have our selection box, which we represent things like form, select, accordion boxes, anything to do with bills or maybe menus. This is the kind of approach you are going to use. And you have our pure white as a background. Then we have the main color for our select option. That is the one that is a little bit darker, and then the rest have the same body text color, that is OEO. And then we have the surface color, which is this background, and the same surface color we are using for our info box here, like our pop-up or our notification. I use this design to test all my colors and see how they will work together. So because I'm using Figma, the free version, I haven't created it as an asset. So what I will do is to copy everything we have here and move it to the demo that way. So, and then I simply drag it around here. And I usually like to have an extra one, just in case I ruin something and I don't want to go back to the previous Figma project page. So now that I have copied in our page or our design page, now the next thing I have to do is to replace or to swap all these colors with the colors that I've already created. I will start with the primary color, then we'll go to the orange, because the primary color is a little bit easier to do. So let's do a primary color. So I will select the preview color frame, and then when you do that, you go to the selection colors, that is a little bit below the fill and stroke down there. You see there are some hidden, so I've expanded them. In fact, let me rename the frame to preview primary colors. So I've just done the renaming, and then now that I've done the renaming, the next thing that I will do is to swap these colors. We remember, let's start with the main color. 111 is our main color. So I will select it, and then I will pick the eyedropper there. Boom. And that everything that has that color will change to that color. Now the next thing that we have, let's see, this is our surface color, EO. And then our surface color, we remember it's this one. So I've just selected it and replace it. Then we go to our 222, that is our hover color. So I select that one. Our hover colors, yeah, that one, that is our hover color. You see our design is really coming into shape. It is getting all these colors. And then we have our focus color. This is like 20%. Also, as you can see here, it's 20%. So I replace it with the one that we have, 20%. So it picks that color. The next thing we have here, we have the border color, that is 333. So let me go. This is okay. That's our border color. I've replaced that border color. And then the last one, it is our pressed color. So let me replace it. So this one I will use the dark color, not the dark color. So I will use the dark color here. So I've changed it and I will replace it. So for the wrapper, I will use the 555. Yeah. So we have our 555 here. So I will use this, the lightest. That's the one that I will use here. And now we've changed that one. One other colors that I want change, that is the font colors, and I won't change anything to do with the close button, so I will leave it like that. But if you feel like you need to change those one, you can do. So you can create a few more colors, maybe black variation, the one that is a little bit muted for the body color, and then another one that is a little darker for the main title. So from there, now I think we've replaced all the color in this preview primary colors frame. So let me zoom closer so that you can see the work we've already done here. So that is it. Now that we have this preview primary color frame with everything within its element, all elements, we've replaced their colors. The next step is to test whether these colors work. So, and that's where we use the contrast plugin. So let's fire it. Okay. So control, and then we have contrast. Yeah, here it is. They have loaded. So let's see whether the contrast work. So the first thing you do, you click the scan option there. So technically you can select everything and try, maybe like for instance this text. You can see the text, that one is already passing. Even this one text, it's passing. Even if you click the icon itself, it is passing. You click the button. In fact, that one say it is failing because it is again this one. But when you click the text there, that's what is important. So the contract is passing. Now, if you go to this select option, let's see whether it is passing. 100% passing. So if you need to scan everything that is in this page, you click the frame or anywhere outside here, because it will scan everything on this page and scan. It says no issue found. What actually it's saying is that we have some toggle here that is show passing colors, enable smart simple for layers. What happens is that the default option for this plugin is that it shows those colors that fails. So now that there is nothing that fails here, it says no issues found. If you want to see all the colors that are passing, simply toggle on, and then you see we have our AAAs and our AA, and that says the contrast here is super awesome. What you need to do is to repeat the same with our orange color. Now that one is where the problem comes. So I will quickly start the whole process, and then we'll test it, and then you will see whether the thing works, and I will share with you why it doesn't work. I've loaded the contrast plugin, and now I want to test what is here in the preview color. So let's rename this frame to preview secondary colors. So let's try to test it and see whether there is anything that passes here. So let's start from the top. There it passes. Let's see whether our icon passes. So our icon fails. We have that one, it passes. And then we have this one, it fails. Button 2 fails. Button 3 fails. Button 4, even it fails. And even our select button, I'm so sure it fails. Now you can ask yourself, why does all this fail? The thing is, remember, this is our secondary color. This one we use once in a while in our project because we want to draw attention to certain areas. And that's where all these bright colors, you bring them along with something dark. So what we'll do is to now start combining what we have here. This is the teal color with this orange color, and see whether we'll have a working design. So I've just copied next to it. So that one, hold shift, and then let's change these ones. So we need that. What do we have? So the icons there. So the icon there goes with it's empty. Actually, it's empty. So that one, I won't change how the icon behaves. So just click outside. Just click done. This is something that sometimes trips me when it comes to Figma. But for the button, I'll change the color for this button. All of them hold shift, 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 and this shift, and change that color to teal. So I've changed the colors to teal, and then let's test whether this one works now. So I simply selected the text. That one is only takes a normal text that's at AAA. Then we have the button. Button does not pass that one for normal text, but for large one it passes AAA. Then we have button and button. That one also it behaves the same with that one, but this one is better than previous one, and now this one passes as well. So we have only a few challenges come to contrast. I think I can live with that compared to previous. Let's scan. Now you see what I was saying before. So these ones are the failing ones. Let's see which one is that. This one. So that one, button 4, that one, that one, and that one. Actually, that one, I feel I'm comfortable with this one. I can live with this kind of a mix-up, and I can work with this one. If you want to have something darker for this one, just in case you need to change that one to go to something dark a little bit. So let's take for that one. We'll change this one to white color. So obviously we have this one, and that one. Perhaps that one will pass. That one I'm so sure it will pass almost on all colors. You can even go for even the darker tint we selected. I'm pretty comfortable with what I have. So my final one had a little bit of this shade, which is something the orange one that I selected was a little bit different, and it passed most of the test. So here it is. This is the orange color that I selected, and we have the same kind of preview colors here. You can see it passes a lot of these pass, and there is no problem. That's how I went with the previous design. That is it, guys. I was able to test and be comfortable with what I got as my final result. Is pretty the same. The thing is that you have to test back and forth until you're comfortable with the color that you will choose. So I'm ready to save these colors so that I can use in all my projects. And so I will select these colors the way I've selected everything. So I dragged over, then I type Chroma. That is the Chroma plugin that we are going to use. So here it is. You don't see it poop, but what I know is that it shows that notification that it has added all the colors to my project, and then I do the same to the lower teal colors. Again, I repeat with the Chroma. Okay, now we have all our colors selected and ready to go. So at least for now, we have sort of a baseline to work. And if you look at your colors, you have all colors selected. You have the secondary colors and primary colors. Let me click outside here so that we can see them grouped well. So these styles that I've already done here. Let me pull the primary color before the secondary color, and then let's rearrange them. So this is where you put together, you try to make sense of what you are using. Let me quickly do that. Here we have a problem with our naming, so I will actually name this to focus. So sometimes that happens. Oops. And then I hope, here we also have the same problem here. So that goes back to our template here. Looks like we did not name them correctly. So that one should be focused. And so we have all this grouping of colors, and it's all looking awesome. It's the same here on primary colors. We have our colors ready to use in our design. I've already shown you how to combine these colors like this one. the way I've combined it, and the way it works. So all you have to do is probably put something like darker shades here, maybe for the darkest one. And now we have our design using colors. From there on, you can start implementing your design all the way to what you want to do. So you have a collection. If you want to go to a system design sort of an approach, that's where you start picking from here. But now you have your primary colors, you're ready and good to go to implement your project. That is it. We've come to the end of this video. In fact, if you didn't watch the previous video that I was talking about color inspiration, I was going through all the way I found this orange color and the way I was working with it and how I came to create this palette. Please go and watch it somewhere at the corner of this video. Go and watch it. And another one that is coming, I'd like you to follow to see the philosophy and how this challenge came to be. Go and watch it. Leave your comment, like, and share to people that are like-minded, so that we can have this sort of a community where we share ideas. Until next time, stay safe, guys.